When I was a little kid, my grandma used to say sensible things to me. And the one that's going through my head at the moment is more haste, less speed. I thought I'd just sort of make a bit of progress while I'm waiting for the oven to get hot enough to put my dinner in it. And I cut this piece, very pleased with that, and I soldered that piece in. And then I tried to cut this piece, and I don't know if you can see that, I'm really just not happy with it. So you sort of think, well, that's not a problem for someone like me, because there's a good chance I've got tons of glass. Yeah, I have, but not all that thickness. So I've got to source another piece of glass. Now that bit, that does the job, but I'm going to need that for some of these. So I've been out in the shed and I've found myself another window, and I'm going to take the glass out of it. And I'm just hoping it's the same thickness. We'll find out soon enough. Well, unusually, I got that piece out without breaking it. It came out of a window frame that I rescued from a skip. All right, the dumpster for some of you. The frame was that rotten that when I started pulling it about, the frame just came apart in my hands, leaving me with an intact piece of glass. I'm going to cut it down to a more manageable size. Well, what a difference a day makes. Overcast, dull, still quite warm, which is, I guess, why this lot seem to be getting ready to do something exciting. But I've had my dinner, and following doctor's orders, we're going to go for a brisk march up and down the beach, just to, you know, treat my body like a temple. Yeah, something like that. Well, the summer holidays are the summer holidays, and we don't let a little thing like rotten weather stop the fun, do we? It's actually not rotten, it's just overcast. And at the end of the day, of course, the seagulls come round looking for scraps. Now I've included in the video a little bit that I've now got my brand new passport with 10 years on it, and a couple of you have already speculated that this may indicate some adventures and travel. It may indicate that. I'm hoping it will. Just a little bit on that subject though. Life throws things at you. You know, earlier I spent a week in hospital and didn't expect to be doing that. And in my sort of close circle, if you like, there are people who spend rather a lot of time in hospital. So things don't get planned, they get thrown together at the last minute when we know that things can be done. But of course you need to have the passport, otherwise you can't even think about going abroad. The other thing that is important about September is the children go back to school. When I say the children, I mean that generally, which makes things like ferry crossings very much cheaper and hotel accommodation very much cheaper. But more importantly, it means that you can sit on a beach somewhere, or you can go to a tourist attraction and not have millions of small children getting under your feet. So yeah, September, other things being equal, there will be an adventure. The planning hasn't been done yet, beyond making sure that I've got a passport. It is probable that we'll be going across the Channel, the English Channel that is. It's probable that France will be involved somewhere. France is a lovely country, and of course I will take you all with us. Well, I've walked along the beach, and I think it's time that I cut inland, as it were. Not very far, just to walk back along the road rather than along the beach. It's all rather nice, isn't it? Dog roses. Just sort of crossed my mind as I was walking along here. I normally drive up this road once a week, I guess, and I take for granted the architecture. But I guess this is a little different to the sort of architecture that a lot of you will be familiar with. I don't know what you'd call this style. I suppose it's 1930s. It's affluent, of course. You know, that might now be a hospice, but these are all built as family houses. So the people that built them must have been worth a few bob. But there we are, something's going on here, obviously. Because of course these houses, they are frankly too big for an ordinary family these days. So when they come up for sale, a lot of them end up being turned into either hotels or hostels or nursing homes. You know, there are plenty of nursing homes in this part of the world. Well, that's not, that's just a house, but that's quite an interesting sort of style, isn't it? Much more interesting than what's next to it. What we're coming up to is the railway bridge. Now, you've seen me filming at Chalkwell, where the railway line is right on the beach, but it comes away from the beach a little bit to go up into Southend. So there's the railway bridge. Yeah, shall I walk along that one? No, I'll stick to the original plan. I do need to find a shop that's open before I crawl indoors for the rest of the night. Now, I must admit that's not something I thought I would see just walking along. Not really sure if I'm in Westcliff or in Chalkwell, but that's an interesting plant, isn't it? I suppose I ought to just take a shot of this thing. I guess the number plate is a bit of a clue, isn't it?